I went with my wife to Lyon. It was a Saturday. We entered the restaurant. My first initial feel was I saw happy faces. Indian food, especially the street food, people don't know about it. So there's we had to do a lot of education. So when the clients were coming, oh, what is this? What is, the puri, what are these small little balls? So you have to explain.
Because Indian street food is quite spicy. The flavors are quite acquired. It's not something you can love in one go.
I think this is where Debs' expertise it comes into play. He has been traveling to all over India, and he has acquired this knowledge. It was the first viral reel. People from all over places. I mean, our reel reached Mexico also, Canada, America, and they saw those reels and they said, whenever we go to Paris, we're going to visit this restaurant.
Welcome to another episode of the Marketing podcast. Today we have with us Anshul, who's a partner at the Debs Street Food in Paris. We want to know more about his journey and how he came about starting this restaurant and everything that happened after. So hi Anshul.
Hi, man. How are you?
I'm great. It's so nice to be here in Paris with a fellow Indian who is made it in the hospitality race. And I think today, I just wanted to know about how exactly you came up with this idea and your story with Deb and how come you came up with this concept.
Yeah, so it all started in 2023. I moved to France in 2021 with my family, and I was very passionate about food and I was passionate about entrepreneurship, and I wanted to do something in that space. I saw a message on Facebook, and that's by my co-founder Deb, who's a chef, and the message said, "Hey, I am a chef having a bistro in Indian bistro in Lyon, and I'm looking for a co-founder to to start a project in Paris." And I messaged him, and then we had a chat on the phone. Later, I said, "Deb, let's we have to meet face to face because these decisions can't be made on just a phone call." So he said, "Oh, please come to Lyon and you can try my food and we can have a chat." I said, "Sure." We fixed up a date. I went with my wife to Lyon. It was a Saturday. We entered the restaurant. My first initial feel was I saw happy faces, and that was a very pleasing feeling to have when you see a lot of people of different nationalities eating Indian food and having a good time. It gives you a very very nice feeling. It was busy for them. They were serving, so at the end of the service, we had a chat. We didn't have he had a picture in his mind, but we didn't have a plan on paper. So we worked for another 2-3 months trying to figure out what we want to do, what kind of space we should enter, how is the current situation in Paris. And we figured out there's no street food concept in Paris. Finally, the project launched in 2024, which is this year. I should not say this.
No, that's okay.
So we started in March. We launched the project in March. We had initial like all businesses. It's a tough journey. Initial days were very tough, but later on we had a very overwhelming response from our customers. Yeah,
and just to understand, because see, Indian food, okay, has been tried and tested in France, all over Europe, and acclimatizing our Indian food to their tastes. And these experiments have happened for a long time, and a lot of restaurants have succeeded, failed, but there is a lot to learn from the research that has gone into all these restaurants existing for a while. True. Indian street food has hardly ever, I don't know any other, especially in Paris, doing it, And so it would have been like it's also a social experiment. So how did you guys make sure that, because Indian street food is quite spicy, the flavors are quite acquired. It's not something you can love in one go.
Yeah.
So how did you all manage to understand local tastes and adapt our street food to?
So there were few things we knew that we can't make it. So the aim was to make it spicy but not hot. So I always say pisse me papi kont.
Uh,
And we fully understand, that Indian food, especially the street food, people don't know about it. So there's a lot of, so we had a lot of education. So when the clients were coming, oh, what is this? What is, the puri, what are these small little balls? So you have to explain, like, what are these? For them, everything is strange. So it's not like, tacos, everybody know what is a taco, everybody knows a pizza, everybody knows a sushi. So there's no education required. But with the Indian food, there's a lot of education required. So we did a lot of collabs. So the social media, we used social media, to help educate people. What is a dabba? People didn't know what is dabba. But we always added that it's an Indian bento. And that bento word is a familiar word for a French market. And this is how they connect.
understood.
And similarly, if, they know samosa. So we kept a samosa on purpose that it is a little familiar food. We also kept Amritsari kulcha. Though these words are not familiar, but we added it's an Indian focaccia. Focaccia. So it's an Italian word, but used in this context for people to understand that it's a pan with some vegetables baked.
So basically, you took words that they can relate,
They can relate.
they are familiar with,
Yeah,
and then put it
exactly.
into our Indian
Indian
food
yes,
concepts, and
exactly.
that's quite smart. And you said you all have been using social media to market the restaurant.
Yeah.
And how has that been? Because this is not India, so talking with influencers, bringing people from other cultures, educating them about the food. There is a massive language barrier.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate all of that?
So, firstly, I was never active on social media. I never thought social media can be such a powerful tool to attract people. And it all changed while we were surfing. We saw an influencer, a Spanish influencer, in fact, and we invited her to come and do a reel. Initially, I thought it's going to be English or it was going to be French because that is, the most common languages. But she, in fact, did the entire reel in Spanish, and that was her first viral reel. People from all over places. I mean, our reel reached Mexico, also Canada, America, and and slowly that gave us a little exposure that how we can use social media. So we try to contact different influencers having a different set of the followers. So we used different different genre of influencers who had their own niche. And so we took a Spanish, we took a French, took a English speaking. We also collab with a lot of Indian influencers who have been here for a long time, and for them also this was a very new concept. So all this combined effort resulted into what we are here today.
In terms of the chefs, right? Because making Indian street food is not exactly the easiest thing to do, and finding chefs who can do that and maintain the quality and standard that you require.
I think this is where Deb's expertise it comes into play. He has been traveling to all over India, and he has acquired this knowledge, this know-how, to how to do good Indian street food. And he's like a teacher to our the chefs we have here today. So they never knew how to make a Indian street food. So Deb has been with our SOPs, with his knowledge, with his small tricks and tips. They have been doing it, and we have been slowly improving. Of course, on day one we were not perfect, but as we have gone ahead, I think we have mastered the recipes. And I've heard from a lot of people that you have the best charts, which is which is a street food, which is a very prominent street food family.
And you told me that, like, each dish has its own story about how Deb kind of brought the concept here. How do you all go about curating? Like, if you're adding something to the menu, like I heard you're adding another thali. Sorry, you're adding another dabba to the menu. How does the curation of the figure? Okay, should this come into the menu? How does this process work?
So in this way, I would say Debs Bistro is like a formulation zone or a formulation restaurant, and the best sellers or the ones which are already tried and tested in Lyon comes into Paris.
Understood.
Also, of course, we make little changes, but that's like the core engine where all the recipes are formulated, and then they are transferred to Paris, and This is how we so we do little experiments. We introduce some dishes as specials just to test how the customers are taking. So we had failed attempts also. Not everything is a success. So we have to find this fine line that how by this line we are able to cater to both the segments, both the worlds, and it's a very difficult line to maintain.
Yeah.
But we are trying our best to please to everyone, to please everyone.
And especially when we talk about like the thali and the dabbas, okay, what have, because it's something which is so foreign to anybody in France or anybody who's not Indian.
Yeah. So initially, whenever I said, yeah, sorry.
So what is like normally the reaction of people, and how do you all explain it? Because
So people who've traveled to India, they understand because Dabbawala is a very well known system which has been studied all over the world. So when you say Dabbawala, so people who have traveled to India or know a bit about India, they understand what is a dabba. But people who are very strange to India, they said, oh, what is a dabba? So you have to explain it's a lunch box, a metal box, and it's a lunch box. So women at home, they prepare this lunch box, pack there for their husbands or their brothers or their fathers, and when they receive it in at their workplace, they open and so it's like a kind of bundle of joy or surprise. It's a little journey, and then people understand. And once they like the concept, and they, of course, the customers, they keep coming back, and they want to try each dabba because we are going to have soon 4 types of dabbas, each representing a different region. So we have a Delhi dabba, we have a Mumbai dabba, we have Pondicherry, and we have a Hyderabadi dabba. So they are they want to discover all the parts of India.
amazing. And any other question? Kya पूछ सकता हूँ मैं? Which has not covered something you would want to say.
How is it?
How difficult was it to open a restaurant in a country you are new to?
I think it's
Take a journey.
Like a journey, but it's a very
For people in India and here, it's a nice this thing called. And you opened a restaurant in France. Being from India, being new to the country, it cannot possibly be easy with all the laws and licenses that are required. How difficult was it to do it?
It was a nightmare. Honestly, it's a nightmare. First to navigate the administrative challenges, it's a nightmare. And it's as slow as in India. We always complain in India, oh, things are very slow. When you come to France, please expect the same level of tardiness. So it took us 4 to 5 months just to have our registration paper that the company is open. Now you can go ahead. That it took about 4-5 months. And then the second challenge is to find a place. And Paris being so much in demand, and everybody wants a one corner of a street somewhere. So that's a second biggest challenge, to find a place. You can't find a place unless you have very big budgets. Then of course everything can happen. But with our minimum budgets, it was a big challenge. Then it's finding the right chefs. And every stage it's the hurdle of language. You have to read all documents in French, translate them in English, understand them. They again reply back in French. So it's a challenge at every stage.
Hopefully for the next restaurant, now that you already have this loyal clientele as well as you know how to function, in France, it's going to be easier. Hopefully.
Yeah, it'll be easier, but I think running a standalone restaurant also will come with its challenges.
Yeah.
And but I think we'll be up for that challenge, and that's how you grow in life and in business. If you don't have challenges, how do you every morning you need to have a something in your reason to wake up, reason to this is the challenges coming up.
I can relate with that completely. And on that note, I really congratulate you on the success of this restaurant, and I can't wait to see the next one, and can't wait to visit it. And it's been a pleasure working with you, marketing this restaurant and this concept in Lyon and Paris both. And
My
I hope we go a long way.
Sure, my pleasure. And it was lovely meeting you the first time. We've always chatted on Google Meets or on phones. This is the first time you're meeting face to face. It was a good, nice experience. Somebody, you're able to work with somebody from your own country in a foreign, in a foreign world. It's a very nice feeling. Lot of comfort is there, and I think I also see you have a lot of energies and a lot of ideas. You'll be, you'll go a long way. So all the best.
Just too kind.
Thank you.